Yeah, all right. Let's let's continue from yesterday. Sorry. So we have discussed right yesterday about images containers. I mean, what are the Docker components and all. How to see the images containers and everything. So let's continue from there. You know, let's continue from setting up. I mean, the commands and everything. So we have seen it. Like, and let me open. Yeah. So we have seen the command like docker run -d or -p, whatever. Sorry, I mean -it, name. We gave some test something, and finally we have to give the image name. No matter what arguments you pass, what you write, the image name should be at last always. Otherwise, it won't work. So it's running fine. So this is good, right? So far we created a container. Inside container Nginx is running on 80 port. This is good, okay, this is fine, but I want to access what is inside the container, obviously. Correct. Let's say if we deploy Tomcat, we need to access the Tomcat, right? Or let's say Jenkins, whatever it's running, we need to access it. But can we access it now? So far, no, we cannot do it. We cannot access it. I mean, Nginx, whatever it's there, we cannot access it. Even with the port 80, even though you can see it's port 80, we cannot access it. You know why? Because, see, we have this is our my system. My system will have a network, right? And within my system or host, I have installed Docker. Correct. I have installed Docker. So now what happens is Docker will have its own network. It's like two layers. So first is my system network. Next is once the system network inside, there will be Docker network. We haven't done anything for the networking part. Docker will automatically create them. So it will automatically create, it will automatically manage everything. We haven't done anything so far, right? So the issue is now, in order to access, usually what happens now when we access, let's say, any port number or something, it will go to system network, and if the port is available, running, it will go there and it will give back whatever is there. Let's say we are running Jenkins on 8080 in the server, right? And we access with IP address, colon the port number. It will work because the is went to the system network, the host network, whatever it is there. So now once the request came to network, the system, it knows that okay, 8080 port number the user is trying to hit. Of course, 8080 is running on the system, right? It will give response back to you. But now this is a container. It means container have its own network. And what's happening here? This port, whatever you're seeing, it's container port. It means inside the container, this port is running. But in the system, it's not 80 because it's not even running at all. In terms of system, it's not even running at all because, as I told you, it's running in Docker network on 80 port. But there is nothing on the system. Even if you access with 80 port, it won't show Nginx or something. It will just say failed because let's see netstat. Is there it's available? Yeah, it's available. In Mac it is different. Okay, it's fine. So you won't see, you can't access it, the Nginx, because it's inside a Docker network. You know what we have to do then if we want to, because that's the whole point, right? We run our application, whatever the tools inside a container, and we want to access it. How the hell we do it then? Because now we can't do it obviously because it's inside a Docker network. We need to do anything to access outside? Yes. What we have to do is something called port mapping. Port mapping means, see, whatever here it's running, it's container port. You need to map this container port to a host port, to a system port. Let's say, how can I say, like, let me write something because I don't have, sorry, that I know what is that, paint or something. 1 minute. Yeah. So, user, let's say, laptop or system or host or server, all are fine. Now Docker. So what happens is now usually when I hit something with the system IP, system have its own network obviously, and Docker have obviously have its own network. It will create automatically. We don't create it as of now. So now what happened is this in the Docker network, Nginx is running on port 80, right? But we cannot access it because in between there is system network. Directly we cannot access container. So the request, whatever we are trying to, it should go through system only to Docker network. So we need to map the port number between these two. Then I can access with the system host to port or server port. Then the request will go to container port. Let's say on the system I mapped with 80. So system 80 port is mapped with container 80 port. Got it? System 80 port is mapped with the container 80 port. Now if you use access 80 with 80 port on the system, it will redirect you to container port. Got it? What I'm saying? Let me show you that. It will be very simple. Docker. Let's run the container. Docker run obviously. Let's run in background. Hyphen name test. Sorry. Hyphen p. P means publish. 80:80 I'll give. What is, I mean, Nginx line? This is the extra thing, right? P means publishing. We are mapping the port number here. On the left side, it is system port. Right side is the container port. Container port, obviously, we have to make sure correct port. I mean, if it is Tomcat 8080, if it is Nginx something 80, or if it is something else, we have to make sure the container port is correct. Now we are on the right side is container port. On the left side is the host port. On the host network, we are mapping to this port. So if I access to 80, obviously the request will go to host first, and then it is mapped right here now from 80 to container port 80 it will go. Got it? Let's run it. 80 local host. Alright, come on. Yeah, local host. I mean, because I'm on right. Yeah, I'm actually running in my laptop. Obviously, see, Nginx came. Got it? I did not like, I'm not running Nginx on my system. It's from a container. Why? Because it is mapped. Now we are mapped to ports. Host port colon container port. Host port you can give anything, not just 80. But container port always should be correct one, which where within the container what it's being using. Got it? Let's delete this container again. As I told you, right, you can map any port until 65,000, blah, 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 blah. Something. It's fine. Double it, double it, right? Let's access with double it, double it. Let's see. See, it's working, right? See, as simple as that. So, we just mapping the ports from host network with container network port, Docker network port. Why? Because the request has to go through like that. Now we map it, right. Let's see now. Let's see the Docker PS. Observe here. See, observe here. Let me reduce a little bit. Observe. What the hell is this then? Earlier it was just showing 80. Now the port has been mapped. See, 8080 arrow mark to 80. It means if someone access 8888 port, I mean from this system, the request will go to container port 80. Same thing here, twice. We're just mapping the port so that we can able to access what's inside a container. This is the only way. Sorry, I don't know why it is. This is the only way to do it. So whenever you run something in container with, in Docker, you have to publish port, I mean map the port like or publish whatever it is. Map the port like this. Then we access with the host port. Of course, you can use same ports if it's free, or you can use different ports. Anything is fine. I'll show you one more thing. Now I'll run Nginx again with 8088889. Oh, sorry, name has to be different. Test 1. So I created Docker PS. So now there are two Nginx running on two different ports. That's it. Let's try 899. See, 88 obviously will work. Why? Because they are so sorry. There are two different containers running on different ports. But observe, container port is same because Nginx is running on 80 obviously, right? You have to give like that. This does not have any conflict. You may think like, it has, oh, we are running Nginx with 20 twice. No, the container port is 80. Container port can be same, but as I told you, they are all running isolatedly. Isolated means they will not conflict with each other. So container port can be same for 1,000 containers because they are the same application, right? If they are same application, container port has to be same. But imagine host port cannot be same, correct, right? On the host, it should be same port. Got it? That is what port mapping is about. You can map any port, it does not really matter. You can map like anything. Got it? So that's what port mapping is about. So if you want to access something, whatever running inside container, you have to map a port to the container port. How the hell I know what is container port? You have to figure it out. Depends on the image. Nginx, I know it's 80. That's why. If Tomcat 8080, I know it. If you're using a new one, you have to figure it out the port and then map to the container port. Anything I told you, right? Like this, I can create 100 Nginx containers. They're all isolated. No conflict. They won't conflict with each other because see, in the container, they are running in the same network, obviously, and same port also in the container. But there is a concept called namespaces in Docker. We don't use that. It's from the kernel, our Linux kernel, which Docker uses, which use it to isolate these containers. Got it? Which use it to isolate these containers. That's why there won't be any conflicts. Got it? So that's what port mapping is about. Mapping the port and accessing it. By default, if you do not map any port to the container, you cannot access. Obviously, you cannot access whatever inside the container. Correct? That's all about port mapping. So next, like the hyphen, you can, as I told you, you can go just hyphen p, blah blah blah, and everything, which is fine. One minute. Yeah. So that's about port mapping, how we map the ports. Next, what else? See, I think we have discussed about commands, right? Docker create, run, Docker pull. What else is there? Obviously, passing with run, passing, then naming. Um, what else we can pass? We can pass the host name also. Let's say port maybe 8990 880 port. Test 2. Obviously, the name has to be different. This is the container name. What we are passing. Hyphen hyphen host name test. Sorry. This will be the host name inside the container once we log in inside the container. Host name also you can pass. Docker exec, we have seen this right, hyphen it pod slash, sorry, Docker exec hyphen it, what is the name? Test2 slash bin slash sh. Host name test2. That's it. I mean, whatever you'll see, right, root at the rate something you'll see when you log into container. So that at the rate instead of ID, it will show you the host name as test2. That's it. Not you can use it. I mean, if you want, that's fine. Host name for the container, not for the host. And what else we have seen? Docker start, we have seen Docker attach, we have seen Docker exec, obviously, which is important. We have seen to log into inside container. What is the difference between attach and exec? We have seen yesterday. Attach will just go inside a container, obviously log in inside a container only if it has shell already. So we tried yesterday with Ubuntu because it has shell. Exec means we are executing the shell, and using that shell we are logging into the container because there is no shell inside. That's the difference. Most of the containers does not have shell. We will be using exec very commonly, not attach. Attach we don't use that. But yeah, remember it. Stop, start, we have seen. Rename the container. Yeah, you can try practicing it. That's it. I mean, let's say test2 is there, right? These are small commands. They are available in documentation. Docker rename. What is the container ID? This one. Instead of test2, you want test6 something. Yeah, it's the name change. Yeah, these are all normal things which you can figure it out. Stop, start, restart, delete. Oh, and of course, one more command, Docker stats. With the Docker stats, you know what? Come on. What happens is it will show you the information about the usage of containers. See here, these containers, CPU not using any much. Memory, it's using 7 MB, 7.23 MB because there is nothing inside it, obviously. The limit it's saying, the limit is system limit. System limit. System have 8 GB memory. So that's why it is showing it can go until 8 GB. Any container. See here, any container. Because there are all limits we have defined. That's why the highest limit is the system, whatever it has. As I told you, right? It will use Docker, uses system resources, CPU, memory from the system itself. Unlike VM. VM, what it will do? We have to create a VM separately with a dedicated memory, dedicated CPU, dedicated hard disk like that. But Docker is not like that. It will use everything from the system. Got it? That's what it is doing so far. Got it? And of course, sorry, Docker, what is it? Top test one. Top, what it will show to us? The process, the process which are running, obviously. So that's what it is showing to us. The Nginx process is running. The workers are running. See, got it? What I'm saying? And what else? Clear. Mm, yeah, there is one command. Sorry, Docker inspect, which will be useful. Docker inspect container name. Let's say give it. What happens is it will give you information, all the information about the container. See, starting from all the networking information, what's running inside it, ID, see when it's created, what it's running, what status, state, every information it will be present to you. You can filter out the information from it. See, port mapping also, by port binding, see, host to port, container port. It will show you everything, all the information. Sometimes it will be useful. We'll see, when we start classes. When see what's mapping, all the information will be there. Same way, you can inspect the image. Nginx Alpine image. It will show you the information about the image. You can able to see both. No, not an issue. Alright, that's what inspect. See, you may see every time. What the hell is this? Something called Alpine. I know Ubuntu 24, it's fine. What is Nginx also? I know it, but what is Alpine? Let's search it. What is Alpine? What it came? Alpine cars. Oh my God. Alpine Linux. You know what is Alpine Linux? It's a Linux operating system only, but very, very, very small one. Very, very small one. So here, Ubuntu, just like Ubuntu, this also one other thing. See, Alpine Linux distribution designed to be small, simple, and secure. It uses BusyBox, OpenRG instead of more commonly used glibc, GNU core utilities. So what happens is Alpine is a distribution actually, Linux, flavor, just like Ubuntu and CentOS and everything. But it it will be very less size. It will be very less size. What happens is some system libraries which will remove it, it will be using a different one. And why the hell I'm using here with Nginx? Because as I told you, Alpine will be size will be very, very less. So what they did, official some guys, they installed Alpine and they installed Nginx on top of it. So the size became very less. So that's why if Nginx Alpine means on Alpine Linux distribution Nginx is installed, size is 80 MB. Let's just pull Nginx, just Nginx. Sorry, there will be a difference actually. If I pull Nginx, obviously I haven't gave any tag right, as I told you, so it will use default. Nginx color latest. See, it is pulling. Observe the size now. Now let's see the Docker images. See 281 MB. Why? Because this Nginx is built on Ubuntu or some CentOS operating system. This Nginx image. Got it? Oh. But Nginx Alpine means the Nginx is built on Alpine image, which will obviously be very less size. Got it? That's what is happening here. That's what you're seeing. Got it, right? So that's why we use Alpine because it comes with a very less size. Obviously, one command you have to know in Alpine is APK. APK. Instead of APT, just like Ubuntu, APK. APK add some package name, it will install to you. That's the only command is fine in Alpine. Got it. So that's about port mapping, and I know just a few information about Alpine. Let's go to other topic. What else is there? Yeah, there is something called save and load. See, as I told you, right, when discussing about Docker, we have containers. We can create images also, which we will see later. But for now, let's say we have these images already. We want to ship these images to some other. Let's say I have a team, obviously, my developers are there. So this is my image. Imagine now this is my image which I built. So I want to share this image to someone. How do I share it? Of course, there are two ways to share. Docker Hub, also one of the thing where we can push. As I told you, we can create account, we can push it, and they can pull it. But since we don't have Docker Hub now, that we'll discuss later. Today, we'll see about there is another, one more option called save command and load commands, where we can save the Docker image in a tar file, or a zip file. We can share the zip file to them, and they can unzip it and untar it. Then that's it. The image will be ready. They can able to use it. Simple. The command is wait Docker save. What is image name? Nginx colon alpine. What is the image greater than symbol because we are storing in a file image dot tar dot zz. See there is image dot tar. It's created the file. Check the size. 22 MB. From 80 it's compressed and stored in 22 MB. Now you can share this file in Teams, in whatever Slack, whatever you are using. And what they can do is they can extract it. Let because we can't share it. Let me delete the image and let extract it. Docker rmi-f. Obviously it will fail because I have the containers running test 2, test 6. Now, yeah, sorry, let's clear it. So now we saved the image, right? First, let me delete it. Let me delete the existing image. Obviously, it's deleted. There is no image called Nginx Alpine, right? Now, imagine this is my new laptop. I mean, or no, let's say whoever I shared, they can simply Docker load hyphen I image dot tar loaded Nginx Alpine. See, the image came. As simple as that. Load. First thing is save. What it will do? It will save as a tar file, as a tar or zip file, anything your wish. I mean, it Docker save hyphen. What is it? Docker save the image name greater than symbol. Remember it greater than and the file whatever you want to store or path. You can give full path also. It is fine. Got it. Now once you are done, if you see here, you can share this the tar file to anyone, right? Obviously, correct. That's what we can do. How can I share? It depends. You can share via mail, blah blah blah, whatever it is. I mean, it's completely fine. It's completely fine. See, now what happens is like they can able to load the image from the tar file. They cannot extract it like unzip or untar like that. I mean, it's same thing as an untar, but with Docker load command, Docker load minus I, the image name, they can able to do it. Got it? Yeah. That's what. I mean, that's how we share the image. One approach. One approach. This is one of the approach. Got it? What is another approach? As I mentioned, we already saved it. Let's delete. Out of image star, I'm deleting as well as I think it's fine. Now another approach is using Docker Hub. Let's create an account here and push our images here. Mm, I should have an account. Let's see. All right, I forgot the password. Let me reset. Let me check the mail. All right. Right. I haven't received anything. Okay, let's create it. Oh, why the hell? Let's create a new one. I have the emails already here. That's why. What is the email I've used? Let me try. Oh yeah, I got it. I'm resetting in phone. Just give me a minute. Okay. Done. Yes, reset it. Now let's go to Docker Hub again. You can Docker Hub or hub.docker.com, the website. Both are same. I mean, same website only. Now what I have to do? 1 minute. Yeah. Sign in. My user. This is my username or email. You can able to use anything. Password. Yes. What the hell, man? Oh, let's use mail. Why the hell? We are here, maybe wrong. Let's use mail. Yeah, it's logging in, I believe. We are here 2 is my username. Sorry, I forgot it. So this is Docker Hub, where you can able to create your own repositories and you can able to push your own images and pull your own images, which is completely fine. So you can see repositories, settings, blah blah blah, and all these things, which is fine. We are using. There are two things here, but similar to GitHub, we can able to create. We have to create our own repositories, and we can use it. Obviously, there are public and private. Two things. Private means I think they are giving one free private repository. If you want, you have to buy it later, which I don't want to do. So let's keep it public. Let's see what else repositories I have already. I think there is nothing. Blank. So let's create a repository. Simple, just create a repository. Test repo I'm just using. Public repo. Creating repo for test. That's it. Create it. The repo is created. See, there is nothing. Obviously, if you go click on the tags, you will see if there are any images available. Obviously, nothing, right? So we have to push it like this, it seems. Let's see how to push it. So this is the image I want to push. Why I am pushing this is because it's 80 MB. It'll be finished faster. That's why. Can push anything. First thing you have to do is Docker tag. What is the tag? You have to tag the image. See what happens is before you push, you have to tag the image. How to tag it? Tag with the repository name like this. We'll see now. It'll Docker tag. What is the image? Nginx. Sorry. I'll find this image. We have to tag with username slash repo name colon. Now we have to give the image name, whatever the tag you want. Let's say nginx hyphen alpine like this. Why? Because you have to tag like this, then only you can able to push. Then only the repository can able to identify. Otherwise, it cannot identify. Got it? So VRER is my username slash the repo name, with the whatever the repository name is, and colon the name of the image, because in the repo it will show you this only, or whatever you give after the colon, not before this, because this is username and repo, right? It won't show you. We are just mapping here, that's it, so that repo will know when we push it. And this is the name which will show you. That's why we gave like this. See, this is a public image name. Nginx is the repository might be. Alpine is their version. There will be multiple tags. But when you push to any repository, you have to give the meaningful tag to understand. That's why I gave Nginx hyphen Alpine, because this will be repo and username. Because we are pushing to this repo and right, which belongs to this user account. That's why we have to tag like this. Now Docker push, obviously it will fail. I'll tell you why. Docker push this image name, obviously. Before pushing, let's see the images. See, we got a new image, right? See, got it. This tagged image we have to push. Same thing, tagged image we have to push. We have tagged our image to our with as a repository image, and the tagged whatever the tagged image we have to push, which obviously will fail because I need to log in. See, access why? Because see, we are pushing to a repository, but to this account we need to log in, right? What you gotta do? Docker space login. That's it. It'll ask you username and password. Give it. Okay. Or is it here? Sign in here also there in Docker desktop. But yeah, let's wait. It's opening here. Blah blah blah. Confirm. Earlier it used to ask for username and password. Now okay, it's a different thing. See, login succeed. If you're on Windows, you can see it's logged in. My already see like that you can log. Earlier it asked for username. Once the username VRER to I gave, it'll ask for password. See, like this. Now push again. It'll work now. See, it'll obviously see it's pushing. Why again? It's showing few lines. It's pushing. Why like that? That is a major thing which we will see when the time comes. It means it's pushed. Let's go. Where is the repository? Refresh this. See, it is here. See, compress. It will obviously it will compress. The size is 21 MB, less than a day. Linux operating system ARM. See, and the digest means the ID. Last pushed less than a minute by VRER2. You can also pull this because it's a public repository. You can just Docker pull the name. I no need to log in at all. Now what I'll do, let's delete the images locally. Observe here, even though we tagged the image right to this. Now it's showing us as two images, but observe the ID. It is same. Why? Because we just tagged it. We are not creating any new image. We're just tagging it, so it's like kind of a, I don't say duplicate, but we're tagging with the repository name, that's it, so that we can able to push to that repository. Not just Docker Hub, any repository you use, we can able to use Nexus also. Maybe we'll see that tomorrow. Nexus also we can able to push. Why? Because it supports, and as well as we have to push like this Nexus URL slash the repo name and the tagging like that. This is mandatory. We cannot do anything. But so the images are deleted now. Correct. Now let's pull it. Docker pull. What is it? VRER2 slash test colon, and the tag is important, obviously. You can use the same command. You can pull from your own laptops also because it's public repository. Anyone can pull it. See, it's pulling. No need to log in at all. Just pulling is fine. Pushing, we are pushing to specific account, right? That's why login is required. For pulling, it's a public repository. Anyone can pull. See the images. Obviously, it came 80 MB. I'll delete this. So it came like that. You can able to pull anything. Anything. I'm telling you, right? So now this is my repo. Sorry, my repo and my image which I pushed. Obviously, I haven't done anything, but just tagged and push it. Now if someone wants to use my image, they can able to use it if they found it in search. See, docker pull this command, it will give automatically. You can have to just pull it, as simple as that. You can also create a private repository. Obviously one private repository you can able to create, but at the time, if push is same but pulling also they need authentication. It's a private repository. Got it? That's how we can able to do it. Got it, right? Same thing, we have multiple private registries which we can able to push our docker images. Nexus is the rate. Nexus I haven't started it today. Let's try. We can push to Nexus, as well as there is one more thing called registry, where what is the hell is this? Oh shit! No, no, no. Nexus we can push it. I'll show you that today. Why the hell it's coming? Let's go. Let's go. Let's start this one, because this is where my Nexus is installed, obviously, right? So I can start this. I can able to push it. But remember again, why the hell we are starting? We have Docker, right? We can simply, what we can do, we can run as a container. Search for Nexus. So no type Nexus is available here. See, why the hell we need to go there and we need to start the instance again? Have you observed that? Nothing really. We don't need to do anything. Just pull the Nexus. But remember, it's a community version we have to pull, because Pro is there. See, Pro is not available. What is the where is the community? Search it. Search it. Obviously. Okay, there is nothing. Let's search. It means without Pro, whatever is there, pull it. See, oh yeah, see OSS. OSS means open source. No need to pull also, it will automatically run. See, but yeah, let's try it. It'll take some time based on the image name, obviously. I told you, right? Why the hell we need to go there again? Why the hell we need to start Nexus, blah blah, and easy to me, I mean, Linux server and all? We have the containers, you can simply run it, right? Why the hell we bother about installing and everything again? It's running. Now let's create a container with this. See, let's say you don't know the command. Don't worry. Or they'll give the command directly. See, port is 8081. By default, what is the password? Admin 123. See, they gave everything. Let's run. Docker run hyphen d hyphen name. What is the Nexus? Hyphen p. What is the port number? 8081. Obviously, container port is 8081, because that's where Nexus is running. This is our host system. I just use the same. You can use anything as I told you. Nexus. What is the image name? Copy it from here. Why the hell? Does not matter. Oh, it is, my system is Linux ARM 64 and the image is AMD 64. Oh, it won't work because the architecture is different. This image won't work, but shit. It's okay. Let's start the instance then. Instance also will install Docker and will, run the same thing. Don't worry about it. See, it is not supported, but we can try. Slash Nexus. See, it opened, but it won't work as expected because it will work. We can try, but the architecture is different. That's it. So now what is the name? Admin password, admin 123. Oh, this is old version it came. Okay. It is a Nexus 2, not Nexus 3. See? Nexus 3. Type it. Where is Nexus 3? Okay, they haven't pushed it maybe. See, if you can't find it, simple. Just search for it. It will only give you. See, it took us to Nexus 3. There is a different thing, it seems. Okay. Now, what I do, we'll pull this. See, pull Nexus 3 Sonatype. And we'll delete our old one. First, delete the container from here directly like this, or from obviously, you can delete from there. Pull it. It will take some time, obviously, let it pull. Again, in the overview, they'll give information how to run, what is the password default. Where is the password? Admin 123. We'll try that. Don't worry. Let it. It's download. It's now let's run the same thing. Docker run, but of course change the image name to Nexus. Remaining all should be fine. It's running. Oh, this is okay. This supports everything. Now refresh. Not this. Not this. Obviously, it is failing. 8081. It's loading. Container is running. It's running. See the logs. You can directly see here in the Docker Hub itself. Sorry, this Docker desktop itself or Docker logs command. Always use commands only because in Linux you don't see this. See it logged in. Sorry, let me log in. Admin wrong password. It's saying that hey, your admin user password located in Nexus data. This one. What we have to do? Docker exec. Remember Docker exec-it. What is the container name? Nexus. The name is Nexus, right? Nexus. The shell. See, I'm inside it. Slash Nexus data cat admin dot password. This is the password, it seems. Copy it. I'm inside a container. Obviously, this password where it should be available inside the container, right? So I went inside it. Simple. New password. Okay. Nexus 1 2 3. Ah, come on, man. See, we have it's ready. Browse. These are the repositories, right? We can create our own repository here. Settings. Create repositories. Create repository. See, observe Docker. Docker hosted repository. Create it. Docker hyphen test. And that's it. Create repository. Now we can able to push to this repository. Obviously, how we need to log in first. How to log in? Let's come inside, outside. Docker login, HTTP localhost 8081, right? Username, admin, password. Yeah, we have to log in. Error daemon phone not unauthorized. See, there is something wrong. We have to give the full URL, this one. Docker login, yes. Login succeed. See, it's now success, right? Because if you try this, it's thinking as a Docker hub. See, it's appending slash v2. That's why you have to give the full URL. Now we logged in. Same thing. I want to push it. Let's say, let's tag this one. Maybe this time Ubuntu. It's 139 MB. It's fine. Let's tag Ubuntu. Docker tag Ubuntu 24.04. Sorry. How to tag it? Same thing. Like this. This we have to use obviously because this is URL, right? This is the URL and this is the repo. And what is the tag? Let's give Ubuntu for now. Now Docker push blah 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 push it. 405 HTTP method is not ever supported by this URL. Okay. What else we use? Why if HTTP is not available? Okay, let's. I think it's not enabled. I think it's we need to enable it. Okay, it's okay. Let's see. Let's see. Don't worry. If you find error, just Google it. Why the hell worry? Let me stop this machine. It coming. Blah, blah, blah. Let's queue Nexus here because it's going to Java. Because Nexus is also developed in Java. That's why. See the error Nexus repository or specific config Docker for name Docker does not support post method and particular. So we need to add, we need to make sure the Docker allows HTTP repos. First, let's check in our repo. What else is there? Docker test. This is fine. This is fine. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Save it. Let's try. I'm just trying. That's it. Let's see. Obviously no. So it means we have to allow from Docker itself. So Docker usually by default works with only HTTP. Yes. So now we have to make sure that it should listen to HTTP. It should accept HTTP also. Got it what I'm saying? So how to do it then? How to make sure that Docker accepts HTTP? Of course, it's not a secure option because we don't use HTTP in organizations. We'll make sure that Nexus is running in HTTPS. Then by default it will be allowed. But as of now, we don't have any certificate, right? So we need to allow Nexus using HTTP. That configuration we have to do. Got it? So, sorry. So what happens is now, let's wait a minute. Hmm, I'm just checking any other way instead of doing Jenkins. Sorry, instead of doing this like this, enabling. Oh, got it. I get it now. So let's clear everything. Let's untag the images. Docker RMI hyphen F. What is the image? This is what we tagged, right? It's fine. Now Docker ps minus a. The thing is here. Let's go to Nexus, right? Let's go to anything. not this. Three we have to use. Nexus 3 Docker image. Let's go to Docker image. Did they give anything? Nothing really. Yeah, that's fine. Let's let's delete this container. I'll tell you why. Docker rm -f nexus. So now let me create again. Docker run 8081 what is it? 5001 or shall I use 5000? 5000. Name nexus. And let's what is the image name? This one. I'll tell you why if it is works here. Exposing 5000 listening window. Okay, fine. Let's keep it 5001. See, I'm the host port 5000. It's already been occupied, so it will throw this error. Let's make it 5001. Obviously, it's in exit mode. Okay, Docker start Nexus. Don't get confused of all these outputs. It's fine. The name has been there. That's why. So it's created. I'm just getting the password. It's not started yet. Let's wait. Yeah, now it started. Now admin password came. Let me copy this password. Login. Blah blah blah. Disable arms access. Blah blah. Settings. Create repository again. What is the repository? Hosted. Docker hosted. Docker hyphen test. Blah 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 blah. Let's save it. Let's see what happens. Now what I'll do is simply, yeah, it's running. There is no images, only Nexus is there. That's why I'm just pulling. If you see in the Nexus, see here, rebuild index, enable the HTTP with port 5000. So what's happening is 8081 is where container is running, right? But how we are pushing it? We have to enable HTTP or HTTPS also we need to enable if it is HTTPS. HTTPS maybe 5002. Of course, we are not using it, but yeah, let's enable it. So HTTP and HTTPS we have did it. Now what we have to do is we have to use these ports to push the images. Obviously, first thing what we have to do, we have to log in, right? Docker login localhost colon 5001 we gave. Username is Nexus. Sorry, wait. Username is admin. See, it's now it's success. See. Now let's tag it. Obviously, Docker tag. What? How to tag it? Docker tag nginx. How to tag local host colon obviously the 5001. Sorry, wait. Slash. Sorry, not. Now what we have to do? Slash. What is the? What is it? The repo name. Mm, Docker hyphen test, I believe. Ubuntu, sorry, Nexus, right? Sorry, Nginx, right? Nginx. Now let's see what happens. Now obviously Docker push repo URL, the repo, I mean the repository URL, the repo and the tag. That's what we are seeing. See, it's pushed. Observe in the repositories, go to repositories, browse, Docker test. See, the image is present. Tag is latest, which is what we pushed. You want to pull it? Let's remove from the local. See, all are gone. Let's remove this also. Docker Hub, we already pushed it, right? No worries. Now, how to pull it? Same thing. Docker pull. Go here. If let's see if it shows any URL or not. It's not showing. Then what you have to do? What is URL? Localhost. For us, it's localhost. If it is there is IP address or use that one. Docker hyphen test slash nginx. So it's pulling. See, of course, I did not give any tag, colon tag you have to give at last. I did not guess, that's why it took latest by default. That's why it is also showing here latest. Nothing. What I did wrong earlier was, see, I ran the Nexus on 8081, which is fine. That's how the Nexus expects, right? The port number. But the 8081 is just for accessing the Nexus, not to use for pushing the Docker images. So internally, Nexus supports port to 5000. Internally, what happens is we should use uh, what is it, port to 5000 to push the images, because in the Nexus repository, what happens is it will expect 5000 to be using to push the Docker image by default Nexus. So that's why we mapped the port to 8000 also. You might have seen I mapped two ports. Of course, we can able to do that. I maybe forgot to told. Where the hell? We can map these ports. See, multiple ports I mapped it, right? I like this. I can able to map n number of ports. N number of ports. I'm telling you, there is nothing wrong. And here, this is for Nexus UI. This is for uh, you know pushing to Docker image, and that's why, of course, in the repo we have enabled that one as well. Push using if you are using HTTP, you have to give the port. If you are using HTTPS, you have to give the port like that. So, and you have to map this port. It means this is the container ports. Inside Nexus, Nexus will allow these ports to be used to push it. So that's why we map it to 5000, right? 5001 we mapped it because obviously my system is using 5000 for something else. And that's how we do it. So you have to map the ports which you need to push, and obviously you have to push it. Got it? So that's what about Docker Hub and how we push it, our images from, I mean, ways, multiple ways to push images or store images. Of course, we have seen Nexus as well as Docker Hub. There is one more called private registry called Registry. Registry. Let us search. This also, yeah, this also one of the repository just like Nexus or Docker Hub, where we have to run this as a container inside our laptop, wherever it is. We have to run this as a container. See, with the 5000 port. See, and we can tag with localhost, blah 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 blah, like this. Same thing, same as Nexus. But there is no UI for this one. This registry is only used for Docker images. We have to run this as a container, and with that URL, whatever it's arrived, we have to push it, just like how we did for Nexus. You try this one, okay? So that's it about today's class. So we have seen like what we have seen. Of course, first thing we have seen port mappings, and of course, sorry, how we pushed it. I mean, how to save and load, obviously. I mean, different ways of share, sharing an image. Sharing an image, as we discussed, right, in VMs also, which sharing the VM, which will be too difficult because the size. But sharing an image, see how much base size is less, and how much, speed, we can able to share to others. Now, anyone, if you push to Docker Hub, anyone can able to pull it. If you push to Nexus, anyone can able to pull it. Whoever have access, obviously. Got it? So like that, we can able to push and we can able to pull it. Got it? So that's all about today. Tomorrow we'll discuss something else. All right. So any doubts so far? Sorry, any doubts so far? Any doubts? Any questions before I close this call? Anything? Of course, once you practice, you'll get it. Otherwise, it'll still be confusing at all. Got it right? So if nothing, yeah, we can close it. And yeah, we'll meet again tomorrow, same time. All right. Have a nice day, everyone, and keep practicing. Bye. Bye.